This episode features Dr. Paul Mason, and he'll explain the only proven way to lose weight and prevent disease without counting calories or excessive exercise. And once you know this, you'll never be on a diet again. And now for the episode with Dr. Paul Mason. Dr. Mason, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
When you look around us, most people want to lose weight, and you'll see hundreds, if not thousands, of ways to lose weight online. You are a highly qualified doctor. You have 3 bachelor degrees, a fellowship, and you train Olympians and athletes. So, if anybody could answer this question, it would be you. Do you think exercise is the best way to lose weight?
No. I mean, that's a very short answer. But we like to say you can't outrun a bad diet. So a lot of people say, well, we've been taught this mantra that it's just calories in, calories out. So if I have a patient come in and usually, they'll say, I'm coming here for weight loss. And I'll ask them, full well knowing what their answer will be. I say, well, what have you done in the past? And so, I've done Weight Watchers, I've tried calorie control, I've exercised, so on and so forth. And we talk to them about the advice they've had from their doctors. And it invariably comes down to this calorie counting model. You need to eat less and exercise more. Now, but if we pause for a second, so we're putting the complete responsibility back on the patient in terms of 2 behaviors. One, eating how much you eat, which is greed, and one, how much you exercise, which is lazy. In effect, we're telling the patient, if you cannot lose weight, and clearly you're sitting there, you're overweight, you don't have the ideal habitus, that just means that you're greedy and lazy. Now, the thing is, I've had doctors come in as patients. I've had elite athletes come in. I've had CEOs. I've had all sorts of people. And people who are type A personalities who are incredibly driven, they're not lazy. They don't lack self-control. They're up at 5 a.m. every morning doing boot camp right before they go and run their, 1,000-employee organization. These people have got their stuff together. It's not just down to an attitude. So basically, people are being gaslit by the medical profession. So then the question is, okay, if we understand it's not because you're greedy and it's not because you're lazy, then what is it? And the most powerful influence is something called hormones. And people really underestimate the power of hormones. I mean, if you've ever seen a dog on heat, you'll have a little Jack Russell who'll scale a 6-foot fence purely on the basis of hormones, chemicals circulating around their body, chemicals stimulating the brain. In actual fact, hormones are so powerful that they will control our behavior, our eating behaviors, but they also control what our bodies do in terms of fat storage. It's fair to say that there's one hormone, which is called insulin, without which most nobody would be overweight. Insulin is actually a hormone of obesity. It tells the body to store fat. And then we have these other chemical influences in the brain that drive eating behaviors. And we can understand it's not so simplistic as just eating less and exercising more. It's what in our lifestyle influences these complex hormonal interactions. So I'll give you an example. So everybody will think that when you pick something up and put food in your mouth, that's a volitional action. So that must be completely in your control. Sure. Can you just take a deep breath for me and hold it? Great. So you've proven to me that you can control your breathing. Perfect. Now hold your breath for 5 minutes.
There's no way.
You probably won't. But why not? The drive to breathe is just controlled by chemicals, right? It's just controlled by oxygen levels, carbon dioxide levels. It's just under chemical control. And we've got conscious control of our breathing. And yet at some point in time, that unconscious desire to breathe becomes irresistible. And it's the same with food. It's the same with eating. And if we don't put ourselves in the right situation, give ourselves the right tools to control food cravings and desires, then you're really no more in control of your eating than you are of your breathing. That's a bit of an extreme example. There's obviously, more bad things will happen much quicker if you don't breathe than if you don't eat, but they still will happen.